What we doing? I like to move it. Jumped off the porch, now I'm just coolin'. I had to change my mood in life. When I woke up, it's not just Judy. I like to move it. So please get out the way, excuse me. I like to move it. Jumped off the porch, now I'm just coming in. Hammer time number 2. What you gonna do when the tidal wave pull it with a tycoon? They said prayer on the floor like it's war room. I was in the courtroom, you was in your room. Every time the police came to my door, I just shook my head, knowing way better watch a cartoon. This whole life, y'all walking around looking so crazy. I ain't even gonna laugh, I'ma talk to them. You need to go change your life, yo, man. You ain't been up in the kitchen with the past. You been up in the kitchen, did dirty, had to wash your hands. You ain't been so hurt that you can barely stand. Boy, you better not go out stupid. If it's gonna go up tonight, don't shoot it. I got the light on me, can't lose it. Why would you lose your life? That's foolish. I like to move it. Jumped off the porch, now I'm just coolin'. I had to change my mood in life. When I woke up, it's not just Judy. I like to move it. So please get out the way, excuse me. I like to move it. Jumped off the porch, now I'm just coolin'. Yeah. Hammer time boys in building. What we doing? Say something, move it. How about the whip, let's do it. Jump off the stage, I'm too lit. Jump back and get on the bus, I'm coolin'. I'm in the script making sure I don't slip while I'm fishing outside in the poolin'. I tell her bro I'm a show on the road, so I pull out my Bible to schoolin'. It's too many blappers who don't know their mission, they want my position. Too caught up in numbers, so caught up in wondering if I'm a Christian. Light of the world till the king is back. We out here smoking that demon pack. You can tell Lucifer go get his shooters and look for us anywhere Jesus said. I like to move it. Jumped off the porch, now I'm just coolin'. I had to change my mood in life. When I woke up, it's not just Judy. I like to move it. So please get out the way, excuse me. I like to move it. Jumped off the porch, now I'm just coolin'. And I'm coming in.
Mike. Woo-hee. Welcome to the session. Bible, beats, and bars. Woo, moving. I love that, man. I love that. Shout out to my man, 1K Few and the Lecrae, man, the whole Reach Record family. I'm your host, Minister Fred, too. Thanks again for joining us, man. I was feeling kind of schoolboyish today, Dr. Cross. I said I was going to try to be like you today, man. This is a little deep here today. I went home and I was trying to figure out how can I dress. Because, I thought about doing straight Adidas today, but I said, let me wait. We got 2 more weeks. How you doing, man? What's going on, man? Welcome to the show, baby. Back in.
Oh, man, I'm good, man. Glad to be here one more time. It's good to be among the land of the living and to be here with Minister Fred, too.
Dude, we rocking the same. I got a pinstripe blue, I'm doing for schoolboy. You got
Yeah. Blue, man. Blue, yeah.
Hey, man, listen, when
I
I'm
like
coming
that
out
blue
there,
jacket, too.
Hey, when am I coming out there, brother? I'm gonna have to come on out there and take a flight, man.
Oh, man, you always welcome to come, man. Albuquerque's calling you right now, so you're welcome to come anytime.
Yes, sir.
Come on, come on and get this.
Out there.
Hey, come on and get this 300 plus days of sunshine.
I know, bro. So before we get in on this, man, because we got a couple announcements to make. But what's it like living in Albuquerque, New Mexico, bro?
Oh, man, it's beautiful out here, man. I actually, and I'm not throwing any shade to Cleveland or any of the other cities. I'm just giving my little, tidbit on a couple items dealing with the change. When I was in Cleveland, I think Cleveland is like the top 10 cities that have the most days of overcast.
Right.
The most days, yeah. One of the and so when I got there, I realized number one, they hand out vitamin D pills, like crazy.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, and they have one of the highest depression rates among veterans there in Cleveland, and it is specifically connected to the weather, to what they call seasonal depression.
Right.
Seasonal depression. When I came out here to Albuquerque, 300 plus days of sunlight, my whole mood changed because every day, man, you're going to get sun. and it's just going to be. And then you have the mountains, and you have the Rio Grande River, which is right down the street from where I'm at, and it's just a beautiful, beautiful place, man. So New Mexico is nice. It's quiet. The people are friendly. Beautiful downtown, and a lot to do here. They have a lot of Native American tribes and history here, and the balloon festival, and hot air balloon. You're talking about
Wow.
1,000 to 1,500 hot air balloons
Just
coming in from
all in the state, all in
yeah
the air.
all over. People come from everywhere to have the festival. And here in New Mexico, they have what they call green and red chili. I'm not a big fan, uh, but green and red chili, what they call Christmas chili when you put it together, green and red.
Oh,
And
okay.
apparently that's a big thing here in New Mexico is their green and red chili. So beautiful, beautiful area here. Absolutely.
Well, listen, man, I'm gonna have to come out there, brother. I'm gonna like last week. I'm gonna say take some PTO, man. Some time off,
Yeah.
brother. Come on out there, and we maybe we'll just do a show out there, man. Do a live show, man. I'll
Oh
be out
yeah,
there with
absolutely.
the backdrop, man. I get in the mountains, and we had to figure it out. We'll work on the technology, but that's great,
Oh yeah.
man.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah, yeah.
again, thanks again for joining us. We did last week. We dealt with the first 5 communication lessons that can help us have an amazing and a very healthy and holistic and health and actually a holy relationships that could lead to great marriages.
Oh
So I
yeah.
know we're going to dig in on the last 5. I do want to say to you, if you would just simply before we get started, go ahead and share your information again so that at the top, and we'll do it throughout as well. And then we're going to do a little our No More Dirty Good Music and Arts Festival. This is our second year around, and then we'll probably next week we're going to make a very big announcement. But we want to go ahead and show some love to those that was a part of the first annual, and it was amazing. Had a great turnout in spite of the pandemic. So why don't you give them your information? Yeah, let's do that first.
Oh yeah, sure, no problem. So you want to reach me? Number one, Dr. Michael A. Cross. I'm all over social media, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. So you can reach me on any one of those platforms. I'm also on LinkedIn. So that's a great platform as well. And if you want to reach me, my number is 505-975-8888. Again, 505-975-8888. And then you can always email me at Dr. Michael A. Cross at iCloud.com. That's Dr. David Romeo, period, Michael, Michael, A. Cross at iCloud.com. So I'm always available. Love to hear from you.
Love it. So let's go ahead. Professor X, shout out to my man Professor X, DJ Scissorhand, and Marcus Sims. Man, we want to say shout out to the host crew. We're gonna go to this little promo. We want to say thank you to all of our sponsors, and I also again appeal that we are doing it again this year, October the 2nd. That's the first Sunday in the month of October, the second day, and we're gonna do it at 3 o'clock. And we got a huge announcement to share next week. But we want you to go ahead. All of our sponsors, we've had people calling. So yeah, you could definitely lock and load, get in touch with us at info at No More Dirty. You know how to reach us on our website. In fact, you will be reaching out. My administrator and assistant will be Dr. Cross. So if you don't get me, you'll definitely get the doc. And we'll make sure that we get you the right package so that you can make sure that you're here and accounted for. We're going to do it much bigger. I'm just saying it's going to be Doc Cross, what you thinking, bro? This one, number 2, is gonna be something, ain't it, huh? It's gonna be crazy, bro.
Oh yeah, man. Number two is going to be, man. Look, let me tell you, I can't. I don't want to give out too much information, but we've leveled up.
Leveled
Huntsville
up.
is a growing multi-billion-dollar city. There's growth going on all over the place, including the entertainment area. And No More Dirty has done some real relationship building to allow us to do an awesome job for our second annual Good Music and Arts Festival in Huntsville. So let me tell you, Minister Fred and I are going to be on top of it. We got some great sponsors, some great people. We got some great headliners,
Oh
and
my God.
it's going to be big. So
Yes, sir.
stay tuned.
The session, Bible, beats, and bars.
The blood of Christ made us clean.
The No More Dirty TV show, hosted by Minister Fred 2, airing the cleanest and dopest music videos in the industry every Wednesday and Friday at 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time on the No More Dirty Inc. YouTube channel. We got clean, positive Christian hip-hop and urban music for your viewing and listening pleasure. We also have music video exclusives, interviews, ciphers, life lessons, and more. Make sure to follow us at Minister Fred 2, at No More Dirty Inc., and at No More Dirty Radio Show. For more information, email us at info@nomoredirty.org or call 256-698-9749. The No More Dirty TV show. Connect with us and tune in.
Great time today. I want us to do something really, really important. I want you all to take the time. Now, listen, if you missed last week, you need to go back to our YouTube channel, No More Dirty INC. And we're going to get in here, man, because what you're about to get today is going to be another whole level. This is what I'm saying. You got 5. We got 5 more to go. So, Doc, we're going to go ahead and jump in, and then we're going to come back with the No More Dirty Festival promo. I definitely wanted to have that queued up. So let's get right in. We're on number 6, right? We're number 6.
Number 6. Number 6.
All right. So number 6. Give us number 6. And I'm gonna queue up this text.
Okay. All right. Number 6. Offer opinions and ideas that are stimulating. Once again, offer opinions and ideas that are stimulating. A vital part of communications is to support your spouse in offering positive reinforcement and motivational speech, motivational language, motivational talk. Often, one of the best ways to love your boo is to lift them up when times are tough or just encourage them in their endeavors. Anytime that you're in a relationship and you need positive reinforcement, the first person that should be in your corner, your first cheerleader, the first person that lifts you up and is responsible for making sure that you go through life with a sense of purpose and a sense of direction and a sense of support is your loved one, your boo, your man, your woman that says, man, you want to be this, you want to go here, you want to travel, you want to do this. I am in your corner. I'm supporting you, and anything you need, I'm going to be there for you. And that right there, I mean, you wake up in the morning next to your boo, and hey, we're in it together. Let's do it, and let me support you. And I need positive reinforcement, and that's the person that should give it to you first. And so, offering opinions and ideas that are stimulating is vital to the number 6. Of the many, the number 10 that we have of a good lesson on communication in your relationship.
I'm thinking you were talking about that motivation thing. I don't know, man. Tell us why motivation is so important or so key. We talked about it before about spending quality time. We talked about being concise in your decision making. We talked about those things, those first 5. But why is this like smack in the middle when you talk about motivation and making that kind of impact in people's lives, especially the one that you want to be with and spend your life with the rest of your life? Could you kind of share or expound on that a little bit? I think.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, look. Here's the thing. We all come to the relationship, like I said before, with all kinds of external stimuli. We come to the relationship with our parents' expectations, our grandparents, our ancestors, our culture. We come to the relationship with the friends and the co-workers and all of those kinds of culture, TV, radio, books that we read, training that we received, etc. And when we come to that relationship, we have certain biases, and we also have certain expectations, and we also have certain personalities that often may not be not say positive, but you can fall into depression. You can have addiction. You can have anxiety. You can have fear. And so there's so many things that press against you when you are in this relationship. So now I'm dating someone, right? And I've got my single life in which I had a goal to be an attorney, a goal to go back to school, a goal to and a dream to do this and do that. I want to travel, etc. Well, who's going to be in your corner? Everybody's busy. You don't really
Right.
have an intimate relationship. I mean, you might have mom and dad that'll push you on, but after you turn 18 and you're a grown person, mom and dad is taking care of their business. They'll talk to
Right.
you, they'll encourage you, but you don't have an intimate relationship the same way that you have with your loved one. And so that is the person that you're trying to fall in love with and you're trying to get to learn. And the reason why it's so important that they have motivating and that they're supporting you is so that you don't fall into those categories of depression and anxiety, and that because you're sharing the most intimate with that person and that person
Right.
only.
Yeah, I think that's powerful when you said you're sharing the most intimate of your ideas, your dreams, your aspirations, your goals, your man, this is what I want to do, babe. This is what I want to do, baby. When you get to that point where you're driven to be successful, you're driven to reach a goal, and you're in a relationship with someone who does not feel like you're worth supporting, man, that is toxic. That is
Yes.
it's really disappointing. I think more than anything is to be in a relationship and and they know this is your thing. It's
Right.
like me doing No More Dirty. That's my thing. That's my thing.
Right.
Clean entertainment, clean motivation, transforming lives. That's what I eat, live, breathe, and sleep.
Right.
Now, in a relationship, I have to categorize it, but don't get it twisted. This is what God gave me. So when God gives that young man or that young woman or that middle-aged person or older person that, and you hook up with someone else and you're spending quality time, those first 5 points, like you were saying, it should be at a point when you get to point 6 of communication, like you said, Doc, it should be like, well, babe, what do we want to do now together?
Right.
And how can I support you? Because now, if I support you, it's a win for you, then I automatically win.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Maybe
it
I'm,
makes sense. Yeah. Yeah,
you know, what I'm saying?
because remember, and we're going to deal with this. We're going to deal with the idea that this is a team effort. There is, as the old saying goes, there is no I in team.
Say that
Right.
real.
Right. There is there is no I in team. So if we are together a team and we are looking for both financial, we're looking for emotional, we're looking for relationship success, then if we're in this together, then I need my team, right?
Right,
It could be a team of one, both of us two, or it could be a team of others. But in this situation, as a couple, it's a team of two, me and you. And
right.
I need my team to lift me up and support me and motivate me. And if we're both motivating each other, then we're both being successful. We both say, well, honey, I'm going to lift you up because you want to go to culinary arts school. And I know that you can cook and you want to master it and you want to get better and you want to, honey, I want to go to art school. I want to be an actor. I want to be a producer. I want to be a lawyer. I want to be whatever, a doctor. Then you know that every single process and time that we are spending together is spent in motivating each other to level up together and not individually. I have seen, I forgot what movie it was, and of course it also imitates real life, where this is the problem. Um, the couple is dating. The person wants to be a doctor. The person supports them. The person that wants to be the doctor is only one track. So they become the doctor while they themselves don't support the spouse that's been supporting them the whole time, right? Now they become the doctor. they get their little role and they're doing their thing. And what's the first thing that happens if it doesn't happen as a team? They break up.
Correct.
Because I've achieved what I want to achieve, right? Selfish. I pulled you into motivating and supporting me, but I did not acquiesce. And now that I've achieved, I'm above you. Or I don't need you anymore because I've accomplished what I want to accomplish.
You know,
And then you
Doc,
break
I
up.
think yeah, and I think that's why it goes back to like last week's conversation where you talked about having a conversation about what expectations are, and when you have that conversation about this is what I would like to achieve, and then by the time you get to motivation, like what we're talking about today, you're leveling up, but you're saying, case in point, my goal is to be international, have an international syndication of the session Bible Beats and Bar. My boo is like, I got you. So here's what we need to do. What do we need to do? Let's research. Let's remember you said do the research, find out what it takes. So then that means I may have to sacrifice in this area while you do what you do, and my babe will say, hey, I got you. So I'll tell you what, let's save money. And then in 6 months, we can go ahead and pay for that national, international syndication. Meanwhile, what do you want to do, babe? Well, I want to do my fashions. All right, so we're working this thing together.
Right.
We're both gaining our momentum toward our ultimate goal, and that is what we said we want to do the rest of our life while we're working our regular 10-hour job, 8-hour job, and we're still conversating, still date night, still, you know what I mean? So all this is doing is building more quality time and more intimate time. And I love what you're saying, man, because otherwise, one's going to level up and leave the other, or it becomes competition and bitterness. Well, I mean, I know my man is doing well, but I wish he would come on now. Or I wish, she got that 6-figure job and she don't even spend no time with me anymore. And I'm like, okay, so what happened with that quality time? Just because you're making money, you got to get the quality time in.
Right.
Yeah.
And what you're talking about, Minister Fred, is that balance. It's the understanding that if you have within your heart and within your spirit the idea that we are a team together, leveling up together, then there should never be competition. There should never be a one-track mind. There should never be I'm using this person, for their money, for the sex, for their beauty, for their influence, for their Facebook followers, for their Instagram influencing, whatever. And when I achieve my goal because I'm using that person, I throw them away like trash because I've arrived.
Yeah.
Right? And then, now you have the bitterness. Now you've left the person with a distrust, because you basically said, as long as I arrive at where I want to be, and I'm not going to support you, and this is a one-way thing, then that's it. I'm good, and that's or what happens is I've arrived. And now you can't leave me because I'm now the doctor, lawyer, syndicated breadwinner.
Right.
And you got to accept me for what I got because you helped me get there. But I'm not going to help you get to your spot. So now let's get married. And you just keep the cycle going of control.
Right.
I'm in charge.
Yeah.
I want it my way.
Yeah. And that's so unfair. And it's so selfish that I don't know any way to say that. That's selfish. And it goes back to 2 weeks ago when we were talking about the different minds. I guess a few weeks back, the mindset. I don't know. Let me not say 2 weeks because we've been rocking with this for a minute. But but it's so interesting. Remember you talked about the issue of ego and humble. Remember you talked about that? I think it goes back to that,
Yeah. We talked. I forgot which mindset I brought that up with. I think it was the either reluctant or I think it was a reluctant mindset. The restless mindset. One of those two, where your ego takes over from the it might have been the rational mindset that I talked about, ego as well, where you want it your way and you're not willing to compromise and work it out, and really all the mindsets, but anytime ego gets in the way of any kind of growth, any
Right.
kind of
Right.
understanding that this is a team effort and we're in this together. Ego steps in the way of arguments. Ego steps in the way of selfishness,
Right.
And saying that, it's me, myself, and that's it.
Right.
And there are too many relationships that
Right.
we have seen that put ego and self first over their loved one.
There's a scripture. I'm gonna go back to what we talked about, the script from last week. I think this is still it is still fitting and sufficient to read. It's Proverbs 25:11, and it says, it's very simple. It says, "A word fitly spoken is like apples of gold in settings of silver." I mean, if you can have the right words, the right communication language, following these tips and these lessons that Dr. Cross is sharing, you could sit on any designer plate and it'd be delectable. I mean, like, you could be on a gold platter, a silver platter. You could be in Africa at a palace, and that platter is still gonna look good wherever you go. Why? Because you have the right tools and you have the right fruit for the right occasion and doing the right thing and making a significant difference. And again, I just love what we're talking about, Dr. Cross, because at the end of the day, if we're not careful, we will have fruit, the best fruit, sitting on a beautiful silver, gold platter. And if we don't take care of that fruit, guess what? It spoils. You know what I mean? It spoils sitting on the platter. I mean, you got a home, you got a lovely wife in there, you got a lovely girlfriend. You got all of this stuff right there on the beautiful platter, and you're not talking to her right. You're not treating her right. You know what I'm saying, Doc? You're not doing the things that need to be done. So at the end of the day, this young lady is going to feel like, I'm just on a platter. I'm just a piece of meat. I'm just you know what I'm saying? Does that make sense, Doc? Does that make sense in any way? I mean, it's crazy. So here's what we're going to do. Let's go to, I'm going to ask a professor to go and let's go to this promo, because I do want to say a very special to them, and then come back. All right, so here we go. We're going to go check out this and then come back with Doc and maybe do a video. All right, talk to you soon. You're listening to The Session, Bible, Beats, and Bars.
No More Dirty presents the Good Music and Arts Festival at the Big Spring Park, downtown Huntsville, Sunday, September 12th from 4 to 8 p.m. Madison County Commissioner Violet Edwards, Alabama State Representative Laura Hall, Alabama State Representative Anthony Daniels, Councilwoman Frances Akridge, Councilman Devin Key, Councilman John Meredith, C.E. Allen and Company, Huntsville Utilities, Huntsville Police Department, Huntsville City Parks and Recreation, Honest Rental, Syntax Corporation, G360 Design, Real Estate, Anyway, News for Real Ministry, Chief Entertainment, No More Dirty TV, Joe Policy, Many more, and United Federation of Artistic Mind, Green Room Entertainment, Elegance on a Budget, Stric'ly Jesus Records, Stone Federal Credit Union, Clean and family-friendly fun, with performances by Bishop Daniel Richardson and Eagles Best Praise Team, Divine Purpose, Video TV, Ben Cone the Bird, Live, Mama Kula, Charles and Tanya Harris, Ken Clear, Fantastico, with a DJ smash up with DJ Scissorhands, DJ Cliff, DJ Master Ice, DJ Sam Smite, the Jazz Super Metal Experience, the Good Music and Arts Festival. To be a sponsor, vendor, book the tour, or for more information, contact us at nomoredirty.org. Let's do it again, October 2nd, 2022.
So welcome back to the session, Bible Beats and Bars. We're going to get right back in on this point 2. Listen, come on, Doc Cross, what you got, man? What you got for us, man? What you got for us?
All right. We're going to get back into point 2 here. So here's point number 2.
Say it again now.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Go ahead. Point 2.
Okay, great. All right, great. Point number 2, be stimulating, fun-loving, and fast-moving. Now, what that means is making your relationship fun and spicy. We support, now watch this now. This is going to be a little controversial,
Okay.
on this show, but we believe in the Bible. We
Okay.
believe in the Word of God. We believe in a single life, a pure life. And so we support abstinence. We support making sure that you protect your sexual purity and all that until you walk down the aisle. You do not need sex in a relationship until you are married. And so when you talk about be stimulating, find love, and fast moving, it means to find events and activities that allow you to spend quality time together. Travel, board games, concerts, and relationship seminars are just a few of the examples that you can do to make and keep your relationship spicy. Cook together, do photography, go to school together. Find, like you said, common ground and similarities, or step outside your comfort zone and say, hey, let's try this new thing together that we've never done before. Both of us are not artists. We don't really do painting. We don't do sculpture. We don't do these kind of things. But the local community college is offering a class in sculpting. Let's take that class together. Let's learn. Let's do a project together in the home, airplane modeling and old ships and modeling, things like that. Maybe someone likes to make clothes and make shirts and do seamstress work. Let's do it together. So keep the spice going. Keep finding out new things about each other that could be stimulating, fun-loving, and fast-moving.
I love that because that's really the fun part of constantly developing a very positive and growing relationship, because it just means that you're forever changing, and that means you have other opportunities and to just learn more. And
Yeah.
like you said, if you've never painted before, I remember when I did my first paint and sip and paint, and of course I had non-alcoholic shampipple, and everybody was doing the regular, but I did the shampipple, the non-alcoholic kind, and we was painting. I'd never done it in my entire life. It was the most amazing fun, and it was great to be able to do that with someone that cared about you. And then we learned, we laughed, and man, I drew outside the lines, and then she was like, "No, let me go in there and fix that up for you, babe." And you're doing all of this kind of stuff, and you're just like, "Oh man, that's so nice, yo." So by the time you get to that, then you like, "Well, do you like painting?" Then there's a conversation, and then it grows, and then it grows, and then it grows. The next thing you know, we purchased stuff and had it on deck, and it became a date night once a month when we didn't want to go out and be bothered, or we want to just be just me and her. No titles, not in the limelight. Just be a regular guy or regular, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think it's
Yeah.
powerful.
Oh, yeah. And Minister Fred, you brought a good point up. You see, what that does is it grows over time. That's the whole point. The whole point is that you may not on day one like it. It may be not something that you really want to do. But if it's an interest that your loved one likes, your boo likes, then what happens is it's quality time. Now you're investing into canvases, and you're investing into oil paints, and you're investing into water painting, and you're investing into different types, of painting. Then you're watching documentaries and shows and training on YouTube about painting, and and all of a sudden now it turns into something that you both can do in spending quality time and talking and sharing intimate thoughts. And that's exactly what, those type of things, you don't need sex. You don't need, we only coming together so we can make love. And then when it's over, we fall out, wake up in the morning, go to work. No, you can, there are a million things you can do that do not require intimate, sexual intercourse that can still keep your relationship spicy and hot and fast moving.
Love that. And healthy and
and
holistic.
healthy and holistic.
Right. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I love that.
And biblical.
Because I was going to say that at the end of the day, we still want to remember that these are biblical principles that are universal. So
Yeah.
whatever spectrum you are in terms of your relationship with God, or with you, if you call it a higher power, whatever the case, your relationship with Christ or your relationship with the Most High, you still have the beauty and the opportunity to live a celibate, meaning, I was sexually active at one point. I choose now not to be until I say I do and walk down the aisle. Or if you have made a decision from the time you were cognizant of that choice, I'm going to be abstinent, meaning I will stay in the status of being a virgin, never having had sexual intercourse until I walk down the aisle. But however it goes, it's still beautiful that you can actually make that decision. And here's the other thing I'm going to say that's really powerful, Dr. Cross, is when you make a decision to be celibate and choose the lifestyle or the road of abstinence or celibacy, you're at a point in your life when you're with your boo or your bae that you literally have to learn everything about them without the sexual bonding, the sexual connection. So if I'm not banging and sleeping and having great sex, my mind is not on those things all the time. If you're not engaged, and your mind has an opportunity to be more focused on who is this person, what is their triggers, what makes them smile, what makes them really appreciate or be appreciative. You have other things you can focus on. So when you get to the point where you've learned 18, 24 months and you've gotten it down, in such a manner that this thing really can work and is working, then you can say, let me put a ring on it. And then you can make the best, make love making you in the head. And since earth was shaking, the whole building and the house is shattering, and it's just like, and then this is, so now sex is the icing, or making love is icing on the cake of your relationship. That's what I'm
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Yeah, it does. It does make sense. One of the things we have to be very mindful of is that our sexual prowess, our desires, often trump common sense, decency, even respect, there's a whole plethora of things that can go wrong when you are engaging in sex prior to marriage. And that's where you get, because here's the thing, here's the risk that you take when you begin to engage in sexual activities. And the list can go on and on. Number one, remember I told you about those masks. Correct. And one of those masks is that if a person has already been sexually active, they're usually not going to share with you that they've had many partners before, and maybe will not go to the doctor to see whether or not they have any kind of medical issue, STD or what have you. And so they just nonchalant engage in sex. And now you're sick, she's sick, you have all kinds of STDs, etc. Right. Number two, then you have the possibility of pregnancy. And now you have a child that you are not prepared for. Or correct. You have multiple children that you're not prepared for.
Yes.
Right? And then number three, now with the children and with sex and with the emotional connection, the risk of breaking up. And now you have a lifelong attachment to something that you are not ready, because now you got to make adjustments. Well, there goes college. There goes my career, or delayed college or career. Well, I got to now get 2 or 3 jobs because I have child support and I have diapers and I have
Mhm.
prenatal care and I have all of these kinds of things are the consequences of impulsive and choosing to do things outside of God's ideal.
Right, right.
Right.
You
Now,
know,
we're not saying that there's no redemption, forgiveness,
correct,
restoration,
correct.
right?
Mhm.
We're only sharing with you that if you are in a situation where, like myself and Minister Fred, we are both single men.
Correct.
We are both we both have no children, no out of wedlock, and no sexual history of all these people. So what happens now is you come into both you and I, our single life, saying we can go to school, we can go to college, we can get a job, we can move and do what we do
Right,
without the
right,
entanglements of those
right,
responsibilities before it's
right.
time.
Yeah, and you have less concerns, challenges to deal with when you do or when you choose to go down God's path.
Yeah,
And so I'm going to say this too, chap. Even if you're not necessarily a student of the word or you deep in the Bible and all that stuff, just take the principles that we're sharing today and say, okay, let me apply it. Let me try it. If
yep,
if I stop hitting everything that got legs and it's cute, and if I slow down, get up out the clubs and slow it down a little bit, let me just pace myself. Let me start thinking about what I really need to do with my life. And then let me talk to Dr. Cross or a professional that can say, hey, listen, let's meet 4 weeks. Let's see where you are before you jump out here and try to be with all these other females, all these other guys. And then, especially if you already have a child or if you're a single parent, we just want to encourage you to dial it back, just really dial it back and make some decisions that's healthy for you. Where do you want to be a year from now? If you were in another relationship, what would that look like? What you knew what you were in before and that didn't work out. So you know what you don't want, but what do I want?
right.
And that's where these amazing communication tips, the mindsets, the five different mindsets, understanding where you stand, understanding what's important to you, all of this stuff makes sense because at the end of the day, if you don't know you, somebody else is going to run over you. Somebody's going to take
Yeah,
advantage of you. Somebody's going to not respect you the way you need to be respected. And if you're not respected and you have kids, they ain't going to be like, that ain't my kid. That ain't my problem. I
right.
want to tap. I want to ride. I want to, Papa Rose a Rolling Stone. If she's so fine, I'm going to hit it. Her brother was so cool. He got money. That's a sugar daddy. That's a check. You know,
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
That's really deep, man.
yeah. These principles are universal. It's just that simple.
Yeah.
I mean, look, we live in a world where, we are flawed. We make mistakes. We make impulsive decisions. There is redemption. There is restoration. There is forgiveness. There is turning around and fixing. But you cannot think that if you continue doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result, that is not
Right.
insane. And what happens is we continue down this cycle of what my daddy did, my mama did, etc., and expect that I'm gonna keep having sex, assuming that one day I'm not gonna get pregnant. But I've got 25 partners in
Wow.
30 years. That's a big risk.
That's a big, big risk.
That's a big risk. I'm gonna keep having sex, and I keep having to go to the doctor to see if I have any kind of sexual transmitted disease. That's a big risk, including the fact that AIDS is still out there.
Yeah. And
It's a big risk.
STI, too,
Yeah,
sexually transmitted infections that
right,
will stay with you forever, or you have to take medicines to dial it back, and then it flares up. And
right.
it's just big risk, man. Can I
Yeah,
interject something
exactly.
too? I want to interject something real quick before we move to this third point. And the other thing that, like when you were speaking, that made me think, what about those situations where you've been with your man 5, 6, 7 years, cohabitating, you're living together? Where are you all going with this? What's the next step?
Yeah, yeah,
Like just
yeah,
just a practical question, no judgment, but where are you going with this? If
yeah,
you've been together this long, the next step would be to get with a counselor, and hopefully a Christian counselor that's licensed and bonded like Dr. Cross, and say, hey, we've been together 7 years. We really got like one of these in the state of Alabama or Tennessee. You're considered married if you've been together 7 years or longer. So you might as well seal it if you're going to be in this deal anyway, you know,
right,
if you
right.
see it that way. I mean, just some practical things to think about. And then adding God to the equation, which is why I'm really excited about us having these conversations, because it's from a biblical, it's a God perspective, and
Yeah,
not just um, uh, a social, sexual, cross cultural perspective. You
yeah.
know?
It's also, Mr. Fred, a psychological perspective, because remember that we bring these things into our relationship with expectations. And one of the biggest challenges of relationships is that we tolerate certain behaviors and we
Yeah,
tolerate certain circumstances as normal. We normalize
yeah,
certain things that we should not be normalizing. You know, we really should not, because we have seen enough examples of the consequences of normalizing certain behaviors. The biggest part of a counselor's job is also to break those psychological tendencies that you bring in.
right. Yes,
You
yes.
know, now I know it's difficult. I know it's not easy to walk away from domestic violence. I know it's not easy when the verbal abuse and all that. But that's what we're asking you to do. Number one, seek help. Number two, get counseling. Number
Yes.
three, muster the courage under the unctioning of the Holy Spirit to pack up your stuff and say, this is unacceptable,
Come
and
on.
find you a refugee, a refuge, or a refugee home that specifically targets and helps domestic violence survivors. I'm just giving one example,
Yes.
and get out of that relationship before it gets worse. You know?
Yeah, this is powerful. I want to stop real quick and just pray, Doc, and then we'll move to the third one, and then we're going to do a music video, because I'm glad we broke this up in two sessions, because it's so deep, and this is the crux of things. Because if we're not careful, we'll live under those we'll live a life consumed by red flags, things that are so detrimental that they begin to normalize them. And so just allow me to just pray for you and pray with you, so that if someone's listening and they're like, I don't know what to do. So we're just going to give you a lead in, and then you could take it on your own time and spend time with God. Let's pray. God, we just wanted to take a minute within this session, Bible Beats and Bars, and lift up those individuals and those families, those couples that are going through it right now. They're at a place in their life where they want better, but the circumstances that they are in are very toxic and detrimental to their physical, relational, and spiritual growth. So we just want to take a minute, God, and present them to you. We want to present them to you, knowing that you said you can do exceedingly, meaning you can do more than what these and they and us even believe. Like we just want to get into a place where it's not toxic. But you're saying you want to do more than that. You want to give us a better relationship, a better boo, a better bae, a better wife, a better husband, a better life. And so, God, we're standing on that promise that you won't hold any good thing from these individuals that I am praying for specifically. We thank you for the tips, the lessons that Dr. Cross is sharing. And our prayer is simply, Lord, that they will heed them, meaning they'll listen, that they will practice them, that they will take them to heart, and that they will watch you change and transform their lives in a healthy, holy, holistic, and a very positive relationship that they are in. And if not, Lord, get them out of it, move them, you know. Like Joseph, he said, how can I do this great thing against your husband? You want me to mess around and God. So, Lord, we don't want to keep hurting you, and we don't want to hurt the ones that we're with. In the name of Yeshua the Christ, who is Jesus of the Bible, amen. Woo. Just felt like that, man. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, very important. I mean, to pray for those that are going through those challenges. As I've mentioned before, I myself am a domestic violence survivor. My father was very violent growing up. My mother protected me from a lot of the violence, but she took the brunt of it. And then my father eventually went to prison when I was 14, and that was it after that. So I know the struggle. I understand. I know the children and the parents involved, and the person involved with domestic violence. And we pray for those who are struggling with other things that may not be domestic, verbal. It may just be financial, that you're staying there because I have no other financial option, because they're the breadwinner. They pay all the bills, and controlling you because you have no other options, or staying because of the children. You know, so many. And we pray that the Lord will give you the strength, the courage, and the counsel and the support to get out of that situation, and to turn your life around and get help. Absolutely.
You know
Powerful
what?
prayer, Minister Fred.
Hey, praise God. You know what? I want to do this. We're going to switch it up just a tad bit. This has been kind of heavy. So let's go to a music video by Wande. She has a song called Last. And there is hope. There's redemption wherever you lie, or whatever circumstance you're in. And we'll finale with the last three. But I just, the Holy Spirit is just on me about this one, because there are a lot of people, a lot of single parents that, that are trying to figure out, man, how do I get back on the right track? And these five that we're dealing with today, I mean, it's real. So we love you. We love you. Listen, we love you. I can't say it enough. I'm not trying to get too preachy, but we love you. The only reason why we're doing this is because we love you, and we've made mistakes, and the Lord has helped us to get back on the right track. And you can get back on the right track. So listen to the words of this song, this music video by Wande. Shout out to her and her team, and then we'll come back and finale these last. All right. Session Bible Beats and Bars. We love you. Stay locked. Don't go nowhere. Stay locked. For real, for real. It's getting better.
Oh yeah. I want this feeling to last. Yeah. Live it up like it's my last. I cannot give you no sorries. Living for something beyond me. I put my foot on the gas. Yeah. Cause I want this feeling to last. Yeah, yeah. Live it up like it's my last. Yeah, yeah. This was written way before me. I'm just living out the story. You ain't even gotta ask. No. I want this feeling to last. Man, you got me feeling alive with the fears and the vibes in my soul. No, don't go away. I need you to come take control. Won't you come take a hold? Cause the world is gonna fade away. I need you in my life. Sometimes I play, but I cannot miss out on my savior. You are my blessing. You are my side, that's some flexing. Oh yeah, we've been through some messes. Taught me some lessons. Sometimes I need that correction. Worth more to me than possessions. Yo, cause being in the world, it can really change you, play you. Got you switching on the one who made you. I wanna live unashamed for the one that surpasses everlasting. I pray the passion never lasts. I want this feeling to last. Yeah. Live it up like it's my last. I cannot give you no sorries. Living for something beyond me. I put my foot on the gas. Cause I want this feeling to last. Yeah, yeah. Live it up like it's my last. Yeah, yeah. This was written way before me. I'm just living out the story. You ain't even gotta ask. No. Cause I want this feeling to last. Last. Leaving it all in the past. Past. This was written way before me. I'm just living out the story. You ain't even gotta ask. No. I want this feeling to last. Yeah, it's better up on this side. Team Savior, you never see me switch sides. Dang, I'm a back at 09. Pastor tripping, had to follow God in my own time. Yeah, I saw the vision, and by the vision, I made a decision. Follow Jesus regardless of a civilian opinion. Devil thought he had a hold on me, but I told him think again, got the Lord's on me. New lanes came up, been soaring. New rain came down, been pouring on me. What an honor, such a crazy feeling. I ain't talking about no. Now I'm talking about my king, my father. When he hit the scene, everything go farther. Time ticking fast. Real, what's gon' last? When he come down on the scene, everyone gon' say hi. When he come down, everything what you know you can't take. Oh na na na, come guide my life. With you I ride, I come alive. Oh, I want this feeling to last. Yeah, yeah. Live it up like it's my last. Yeah, yeah. I cannot give you no sorry. Living for something beyond me. I put my foot on the gas. Yeah. Cause I want this feeling to last. Yeah, yeah. Live it up like it's my last. Yeah. This was written way before me. I'm just living out the story. You ain't even gotta ask. No, I want this feeling to last. Leaving it all in the past. This was written way before me. I'm just living out his story. You ain't even gotta ask. No, I want this feeling to last.
Living my life in my last. Listen, it ain't over. It ain't over. Welcome back to the session, Bible Beats and Bars. I'm your host, Minister Fred, too. Again, we want to say thank you for tuning in and staying locked and loaded. Come on in, Doc. We want to bring you back in. I got to read this scripture. I was listening to the song by One Day, and she was like, the story's not over. He's written it. He's written what's last. You know what I mean? So this thing is wherever you are. I want to read this one, man. The Holy Spirit gave me this one. It's Mark 10:9, and you know this one's quite familiar. It says, "What therefore God has joined together, let no man, not man or woman, put it asunder." You know, good communication is a good remedy for these haters, for these bad situations, for these toxic situations. No matter what it is, what God puts together and what God continues to sustain is going to be amazing. Let's dig in, man. Next point, brother. What you thinking, brother?
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, powerful. All right, number. Well, the next one. I don't know what number we're on. I think it's
3.
5, 6, 7. Number 8.
Yes, we're on number 8.
8. Okay, there we go. Attempt to isolate him or her from potential pitfalls or challenging situations. Let me read that again.
Yes, sir.
Attempt to isolate him or her from potential pitfalls or challenging situations. Now, I want to bring up a recent event that happened with a set of Hollywood stars at the Academy Awards this year.
Okay.
And while there are those that may have differing opinions, I just want to use the event, the situation, the circumstance that happened as an example of couples having better communication when it comes to an impulsive behavior or a situation that arises where you need your significant other to step in and isolate you and protect you from yourself, right? So a joke was made. We can debate whether the joke was too much, too little, it was insensitive, whatever the situation was, a joke was made. The response to the joke was that the one spouse was not happy, and the other spouse saw that the spouse was not happy. And on national TV, worldwide, got up, took the 10 steps up to the stage, slapped the host that made the joke at the Academy Award, walked back down to his seat. The host tried to explain himself, and then he began to berate the host with explicitives. Keep my wife's name out of your bleepity bleep mouth. And he said that twice. Now, here is my personal opinion that people may or may not agree with. The spouse that was sitting there should have grabbed her husband's hand and protected him from the impulsive response and said, we will deal with this later. Let's just go ahead with the ceremony, get your Academy Award, and let's move on, and we will address this at another time. One of the things that's vital and important in a relationship is that you've got to trust that your spouse, your significant other, has your back. Now, I don't condone violence. I don't condone guns and knives and and all of this and all that. Nope, not. I will not condone that. What I will condone is cooler heads prevailing. What I will condone is, honey, let me grab your hand here. I know he said something disrespectful. We can address it like grown people right now on the spot, or we can address it later on. And what you want is a significant other and a spouse to be able to protect you from potential career enders, potential legal situations where police and lawyers and the courts get involved, protect you from even a violent person that may shoot you down in the street right there during a road rage or whatever because you acted out impulsively. Well, guess what? I want a spouse like that. Someone who looks out for me when sometimes my cooler head does not prevail or my impulsive behavior gets me in trouble.
This is first of all, let me just say thank you for how you packaged this eighth point as relates to communication. And it's deep because, and let me say it this way, because at the end of the day, if we don't have each other's back in the most appropriate way, and I think that's what you're alluding to, is that what can happen is what we are seeing now. At your greatest point of success, one decision can literally end, destroy, or cause so much harm, not only now to the person's career, but now the income, the reputation, and everything else that comes to now the spouse and the children and all those that put stock in that individual. And so now it's an issue of, now do I step back from this guy or this person and watch this gentleman or this female and this family just get drugged through the mud because of one decision? But it's what happens, because just like anything else, that's what we read the other day is, a fitting words, right actions make a difference. So whether you're sitting on a gold plate or a silver platter, whether you're sitting among kings and queens, one decision can destroy a relationship to the point that it's literally dissolved. And I'm just grateful uh, that my man is just getting counseling. I'm glad that he checked
Yeah,
himself in and know what he needs to do. Because here's the deal: like I prayed and what we've talked about, redemption is still always there.
always there. Oh yeah,
And I'm so grateful that God has given us amazing counselors like yourself and others. And in this case, he's got a counselor. It's just great because I mean we made a
yeah,
mistake. He went
yeah.
hood instead of just staying civil. You know what I mean? And
Right.
at the end of the day, we all have that moment where we click. And I mean, I've been in places and spaces myself, and my crew here no more. They said, "Bruh, I got this," because you ain't gonna get the minister, you're just gonna get Fred, and you don't
Yeah,
want that. But I've had my homies here check me and say, "Hey, man, I got it." You've done that back in the day. You kept me from
yeah.
jumping off several cliffs. I ain't always been
Right.
this civil wearing suits and jackets. Leave that.
Right.
You know what
Right.
I'm saying? But
Yeah.
again, I have support. And so what we're saying in the relationship from that vein, a king and queen relationship, a significant other, partner, all of that kind of stuff, you've got to have that support. Thank you for sharing that. I really am very appreciative, you know?
Oh yeah, yeah. It's vital. It is a vital part of relationships because, like I said, um, we come from a background that may not always be all, petals and roses, roses and champagne. And we come from backgrounds where some come from the street. I come from the Navy and from a domestic violence and from a violent father and an abusive mother. And we have those natural impulses of the way that we respond to stimuli and to stress and to circumstances and to people getting on our last nerve and etc. And we want to just come off and knock them out. Well, we can't
Yeah.
act that way. We cannot set those bad examples just for yourself. Not only that, but if children are involved, if you are an influential person in the church, in Hollywood, you are in charge of a corporation, etc. Or you're just, a regular blue collar worker. Any of those situations, you need to be mindful of the impulsive behavior and the tendencies that you have. Well, if you communicate and you tell your spouse, you tell your significant other, and you're talking and communicating on a regular basis, she or he will see,
Right.
okay, this is a trigger. Let me be mindful of a
Yes.
way that I can protect my who I love, my partner, from a potential career-ending, irreconcilable damage that can be done if we just say, "Take a beat, take a breath, honey, I got you. Let's just walk away and we'll deal with it later." And that kind of maturity is what you need in your boo, in your bay when it comes to
Right.
protecting you from potential pitfalls or challenging situations.
I love that. And here's the other thing too. I think I had a question. A text. Someone said, "Well, could you ask the doctor what are some things that we? Because I have a hot head. Obviously, this is one of the persons that said that. He said, I've got a hot head. Let me read it. He said, I've got a hot head. I streak sometime. What would you suggest in conjunction with counseling that I do to be able to count down and not count up?"
Right. So that's a great question. Some of the
Powerful.
things that I have learned on top of anger management classes, on top of all the different types of help you can get, I believe role playing is also very, very important. Right. So typically, what happens in a role playing situation is that somebody is up in your face.
Okay.
A comment is made, and you are in what's called a controlled environment. In that controlled environment, you're still going to receive the same heart palpitation. You're going to start sweating. You're going to respond with a little bit of the clenching of your fist. You're going to want to just cuss the person out and then become violent, become indignant, whatever the situation is. And you have got to learn through the people around you how you can bring it down 10 notches and learn how to breathe and learn how to respond with a cooler head and with words rather than violence. A good way to do that, and they teach us this as actors. I'll bring up an idea.
Okay.
Improv is one of the major techniques that they teach you when you're an actor, how to improv. And when you improv, you're not aware of the circumstance. It's unscripted. There is no whatever. So let's say me and you, Fred, are standing there and you're the letter I,
Right.
make a figure, and I'm the letter T.
Right.
Right? It's unscripted. And they say, all right, begin. Well, and so I say to Fred, I'm the letter T and Fred is the letter I. He's straight and I have my arms out like this. And they say, begin. Oh man, Fred, boy, this hang gliding is great. Boy, we hang gliding. Man, we jumped out that that airplane, and boy, this view, and my arms are out because I'm improving. And what I have done with Fred is I have made up the scenario that we are in improvisation. Fred and I are hang gliding with the parachute and just jumped out of the plane.
Right.
And Fred has to respond with a yes and, that's a part of acting, and he can't rebut it. He has to say, oh man, Mike, boy, this hang gliding is great, but I'm not straight like you. Oh man, my parachute won't, and we got to keep going until the scene is done. Well, while we're doing that, imagine if I make a comment to you, Fred, man, we're hang gliding, man, but I had a great time hang gliding with your wife 2 weeks ago.
What?
Exactly.
Right. Right. I got you. Right.
Right.
We made the scenario now. I'm like, what, bro?
Right. So what happens now is Fred's response in a controlled environment is going to be, you were with my wife 2 weeks ago that I knew nothing about, and y'all up here hang gliding. What else happened?
Right.
And now your response is going to be anger, frustration, hitting. I want answers. I'm mad. I'm this, whatever. That's how you learn to control your impulses, by having a role-playing, controlled environment scenario that when somebody talks out their mouth, when somebody calls you out your name, when somebody talks about your wife or your husband, how do I respond?
That is deep. So either I can say, I can pull the strap and let you fall to your death.
Right.
And then I'm going to jail for premeditated murder, second, third degree murder because I was angry. Yeah. Or I can just, okay, I can get down and then I can make a decision to hit you in your face. Or I can just say, you know what, bruh, we done with this friendship. Right. And walk away and then deal with it differently. So again, I think that's an amazing impromptu example, but what happens when life happens, when it's involving your significant, your baby, your boo, your queen, your king. Right. And these are very important. Right, go ahead.
Or you could say, look, here's the thing. Here's how cooler heads can prevail. You don't know why I was with your wife 2 weeks ago. You have no idea. She could be a surprise. Mm-hmm. The reason why you and I are hang gliding today is because she gave you a gift of this hang gliding that she knew that you liked, and I may be the instructor, right? It could be any number of reasons why a platonic, safe, simple kind of contact with your wife had nothing to do with what you were assuming it had to do with.
Right.
But
Powerful.
because you're impulsive and
Mm.
anger, you respond with assumptions without reasoning and communicating.
Without
So we
communicating.
hit the floor,
Yeah.
we hit the ground, and then you come off and hit me, whatever, and you do all this. And when you go home, why was you with him? Honey, I bought you a ticket for hang gliding, and I wanted to meet the hang gliding coach to make sure of the price and everything so you can
Mm.
enjoy yourself.
Ooh, you needling, baby. You needling. You needling.
Yeah, right.
But you know that's what it is. And most of the reality is that we assume instead of having a conversation, which
Instead of
goes back
communicating.
to the first 8 now. When's the last time you had a
Right.
conversation? And why not just assume the best instead of the
Right.
worst? I think
Exactly.
that's it right there. If we can
Right.
assume the best, the challenge is, Doc, is that we're human. And I
Yeah.
think that's where it goes back to we've got to pray about our relationships and pray together, hand in hand, looking each other in the face and saying, we need to have worship. We need to do devotion. We need to make sure we get our date night in. Baby, I don't want to do this without you. I want to know everything I can know about you. I want you to know everything about me. When we get to that point, we and our hands are grasped together in that triangle, God at the top, me on the left corner, you on the right, connecting together, nothing can get asunder. Like I said, Mark 10. Therefore, what God has put together, let no man, animal, angel, demon put asunder. Period.
Right. Right.
And that's
Absolutely.
a good example because I will have to need some support in that area. I automatically went like, bro, what?
Right.
That's human
Exactly.
nature. And
Human
we
nature.
spend more time.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
is. It really is. And I believe that
Yeah.
the more you spend quality time, right, like you said, figuring out what makes this person tick, positively go off the chain, trigger. When you know that, then you know what not to do. Well, babe, don't forget now. Just go have fun. Don't go out there drinking. Go have fun. Enjoy it, fellas. But listen, they start acting crazy. Just come on home, babe. You know I'm here. Come on home.
Yeah. Yeah.
But he just no. We talked about this, babe. We talked about this. Do
Yeah.
I need to come get you? Do I need to come get you? Call me when you're feeling some kind of way.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right,
Got
man.
it.
You hit that one. Yeah, man. Let's go 9, brother. Where we at, brother?
All right. Almost done. Almost done. Number 9.
Ooh, this is a
Offer
deep one here.
offer immediate rewards for accomplishments.
Yes,
Now,
sir.
in a relationship, we love flowers and and nice pair of shoes and Minister Fred, for y'all that don't know, he got a whole army, whole thing of hats. He loves his
It's
hats.
a fitted,
Right?
baby. Usually, I went schoolboy today. Yeah.
Yeah. He got a hat. So what happens now, if you are communicating
Yeah.
and you are learning about each other, then you know that as you begin to date over 18, 24 months, and there are promotions, there are accomplishments, there are whatever things that you are leveling up in your life through professional or personal accomplishments. I'm now on my 7th month sober, with narcotics. I'm sorry, with Alcoholics Anonymous, and even narcotics. I'm now free from drugs and from smoking and whatever cessation classes. Man, I lost 20 pounds. Accomplishments. You need to be a person that rewards your loved one for their accomplishments. Why? Because we go back to the cheerleader. We go back to the person who is in your corner, who is lifting you up and supporting you when you have these accomplishments in your life and your goals and your dreams are being set. Because in those same goals and dreams, it may be, honey, I want to go to law school, I want to go to medical school, but I only have my 2-year degree. Well, while you and I are dating, I finished my bachelor's. I passed the LSAT. I passed the MCAT.
Yeah.
Let's go out and let's celebrate. Reward, accomplishment, so that you feel like the person has invested in your goals and in you as a person as you grow together. A lot of times we see the accomplishments and we just, okay, great, nice, thanks, wonderful. And,
Mm,
and how would you feel if your spouse or your loved one just um, brushed your accomplishment off? You wouldn't
yeah.
feel well at all.
Very disappointed, actually.
Very
And all
disappointed.
you need is another fine sister to say, you know what? Let's go celebrate on during lunch. And then you look up and she got a little something on your desk, and you're like, oh, that was nice. You go home and she's like, oh, well, that's cool. I'm tired. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
right,
every day you go back to work, oh, girl's putting in work, but you putting in less work and you sleeping next to this brother,
right,
your king. But he's
right,
feeling like a pauper, or vice versa. You got the finest sister in the world, hard working sister, your queen, your wifey, and you just, oh, she gonna always be there. No, she will not always be there. You treating her like
no,
that.
no, no,
Like, deuces, baby. I can
no,
get
no,
it
no.
somewhere else. And
Yeah,
then, especially if they're working and they're doing well for themselves, and most women
right.
today are doing well for themselves. The average income, women of color make more per capita annually than us men.
That's right.
Facts.
That's right.
Because they would
That's right.
hire a sister before they do a brother, because we're most threatened by them,
Yeah,
unfortunately. So it's
right.
imperative, like you're saying, that we celebrate each other in that relationship. Well, babe, I'm so proud of you. You made 2 years on the job, and then you come home and you got a dozen of roses. Hey, no, don't cook, baby. Let's go. Even if it's just going down there to the taco bus and getting you a nice. She loves burrito wraps, and you get
Right.
her favorite burrito wrap, and it's between payday, and you just like, yo, let's get this, let's make this happen. And she's like, babe, thank you. And then you go walk down the park. It don't cost it, but guess what? You invested
Quality
in
time.
what you said. That's quality.
Quality.
That's money, babe. That's the bank right
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
So
yeah,
when the
yeah.
bank come in, you have saved the bank and you're investing in the bank of her life. You're
Right.
putting it in there, quarters, dimes, dollars, $100 bills, C notes. Get it, get it. You know what I mean?
That's right. That's right. We
I love
gotta we gotta learn those love languages and understand what makes us tick, what turns us on, what allows us to feel valued and feel
that.
wanted
Yeah,
and feel like this is a team effort, a team thing. And any man, Fred, you made a great point. We go back to that mindset. A
come
part
on.
of that mindset is, oh, it's all nonchalant. Oh, okay, great. Congratulations. That's it. And as
Mhm.
soon as someone else shows interest and shows
Yes,
more
sir.
compassion and more
Yes,
interest
sir.
in your accomplishments, let that thing keep going for another 6 more months, 8 more months. Not you're gonna have that conversation,
That's it.
honey.
That's
We need to talk. This
it.
ain't working out, and I
Yes,
need to
sir.
move out. I need to move on.
Yeah.
And that same sister at the work that sees your hard work and puts flowers
Man.
on your desk and and,
Yes,
and
sir.
helps you to level up and all that, y'all be the first one down the aisle married down the road because she understood or he understood that that uh, I invested in your accomplishments and rewarded you because I see your potential and your growth and your hard work and whatever. Yeah,
Yeah.
those are important.
Before we go to this last point, and we're gonna finale with Trip Lee. He has a dope song called Stone, and we're gonna finale after our prayer. But I do want to say this in light of us as people of color, black and brown. I want to say this. I was doing been doing some research on how to level up, especially when I'm working with families. And what I discovered is, and we know about this historically, is that when you look at this back in the even prior to slavery, the black man and the brown man were running the world. Whether you're talking about Africa, the continent, or if you're
Hmm.
talking about the East, the Middle East, which was included Asia and Russia.
Hmm.
When you look at the original Asians, they were black. I'm telling you, this is history. But what
Oh yeah,
happened
yeah.
is when we stopped when we started competing against each other, black and brown, and allowing others during that time to come in and usurp the first thing they do is they take the
Yeah.
best, the finest women, the best handsome king, and assign them to another culture. And then that left those who didn't know. And even when you look at the 60s and 70s, after the assassination of Dr. King, assassination of Malcolm X, you know, Gandhi, when all of them left, we
Yeah.
were like, well,
Yeah.
who do we
Medgar
look up
Evers,
to? Who do we
everybody.
look up to? And then we began to fight and argue with each other. I want to submit to you that if you are a man of color, and I'm talking black and brown right now, and I'm not discrediting any other culture, but if you have a queen, treat her like the black and brown queen that she is. If you have a king on your side, treat him with the most love and respect as a king so that he or she does not feel devalued, undervalued, less than, and walks away completely. And then you can't be mad when someone else that don't look like you, be like you, feel like you, and all they doing is just giving them the love and respect that you should have done and I should have done. But because we were like, well, that ain't how I was raised. That ain't what okay. Well, you're going to be by yourself. And if you have children, it's going to hurt them. And at the end of the day, what God puts together stays together, whether they black, brown, Caucasian, Asian, Semitic, whatever the case may be. The Bible says you treat somebody right, right will follow you. So I do want to just take a minute because I think sometimes we as brothers and sisters, we're harder on each other when we should be loving each other and especially in a relationship, an interpersonal relationship. If that's your boo, treat her like she the queen. And this should be nobody else but her. He should be the man of your eye, apple of your eye. Y'all should be like all in. So take the time, and if you don't, talk to Dr. Cross. That's why he's on out here. That's why we doing this whole series, radio and TV. I mean,
Yeah.
we are serious.
Yeah.
40% of our families in the black community are single parent
Yeah.
without a male figure to handle their business because we have missed the mark with these communication skills. So I just really wanted to just take a minute and I want to say kudos to those single parents that are still they're leveling up. Kudos to those couples that are doing in our community. We need more. We need more. We're gonna pray about that on the back end. Go ahead and hit.
Oh
Let's
yeah.
find out.
Oh yeah. We've got some great examples.
Oh man.
We got some great examples. I know. I mean, the McCrackens are good friends of mine, Jason and Carolyn McCracken. You've got the Poplars. Remember, I met the
Yeah.
Poplars with the.
Oh yeah.
Oh man. I mean,
Yeah.
he loves her and she loves him,
Yeah.
and they got
Yeah.
a nice basketball team of kids.
Yeah.
You know, and just a powerful example of true love. I think they said that they were high school sweethearts, weren't they,
Yeah.
Fred?
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
And then
so
you like,
just
yeah.
great examples of communication, of investing in each other's, interest, of talking, of I know both of them like the hip hop and the
Spoken
poetry and the
word. Oh, yep.
spoken word and all that stuff. And I've seen them both invest in each
Right.
other's interest,
Correct. Yeah.
and build and lift each other up. And so we've got some great couples, the Frasers that have been married
Yeah.
forever,
Forever.
from
Yeah.
Oakwood.
57 years. 57, I
Oh
think.
man.
I mean,
Yeah.
just doing it, you know what I mean? And then let
Yeah,
me
just doing
insert
it.
Dr. Harry and Erica Hobbs and Dr.
Oh
Hobbs,
yeah.
first African American VP, Huntsville Utilities. I mean, we talk about some of the baddest people, Captain Rice and his lovely wife, and I mean,
Right.
it just on and on. So
On and
there are
on.
amazing examples, and there are
Yeah.
amazing examples of single folk doing it like us and others, I
Right.
mean, doing it. So we
Yeah.
want to encourage you with this kind of stuff. So kudos, salute.
Oh
You know
yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah,
Salute.
absolutely. Yeah. All right. The
Let's
last
let's
one,
get with the last one, baby.
last one is this. Ask for opinions and ideas
Ooh,
because
that's tough.
you don't know it all.
Woo, that's a tough one. Going back to ego, baby.
Ask for opinions and ideas because you don't know it all. And what that means is this, and we're going to make it just nice and sweet and short to the point.
All right. Cool.
Always include your boo and bae, your loved one, your spouse, your mate in those decisions and in the conversation when it comes to ideas and opinions and solutions where you need an objective outside viewpoint that you may not have and you want to get a different perspective on. Because you don't know it all, it's always good to have differing opinions. And that includes going and researching, going and looking it up, asking those that are in the field, and getting support and help from professional individuals. I have been in counseling sessions with this very idea, Minister Fred, of that ego. Listening to couples who think they know it all, don't want to listen, and then you're in the counseling session hearing but not listening.
Wow.
Right? Hearing what's being said, because let me tell you what the crux of hearing and listening is. You can hear, but if you're not listening, that means you're not comprehending what is being said.
Wow.
And you're not applying what is being said to your next behavior, your outward behavior from what your loved one just said to you. I'll give an example. This is a habit that can turn deadly. I'm talking, husband or wife, and you keep interrupting me.
Yeah.
Well, that's a pathology of control. That's a pathology of it's my way or the highway. That's a pathology of I'm not listening to you, only my opinion counts and your opinion does not. And if I eventually raise my voice and tell you, stop interrupting me, what is the usual behavior of the person interrupting? They quiet.
They quiet. They turn it off.
Turn it off. Or, and what is the behavior of the person who is talking and interrupting? And you just call them out and put them in a corner. They come out swinging. They come out more aggressive. They come out arguing. How dare you talk to me like that? Blah, 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 blah. And then it turns into verbal abuse.
Correct.
And verbal abuse then turns into physical abuse.
Yeah.
All stemmed from learning to not interrupt and let your loved one speak his or her mind so that their stress and their can be fully out there, their thought can be fully processed, and you can listen and we can come to resolution. I'm just using one small example of what can potentially be because you don't you think you know it all and you don't accept opinions and ideas from your loved one. Yeah.
Right. Man, that's powerful. And I think that I'm glad I understand now why it's number 10 on the list. Because if you get through all 9 and then you get to the last one and you're not willing to share your ideas in an objective way, listening to your boo and your bae, because I know I come out the gate, man, I know this is going to work. Have I consulted my team? Have I talked to my admin? Have I talked to Professor Egg? What is it going to take for this to happen? How do we need to do this? What's the best form? If I don't ever ask the question, if I don't ask DJ Scissorhand, listen, man, we're going to go to this set format, boom, boom, boom. What do you think? Well, I think, honestly, Fred, I think we don't need this. We need to cut this out. But if I'm not asking the question objectively, and in Marcus Sims, he's community, man, that's too long. You need to cut it back, blah, 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 on the show. If I'm not communicating that, we're not going to have a successful endeavor. And
Right.
eventually, I'm going to lose my team
Yeah.
because they know
Yeah.
it's no longer a team. It's an I instead of a T.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. And that's when you talk about relationships, that's exactly why relationships typically end, because I can't get a word in edgewise. He or she is controlling. They love drama and they love to argue, and everything is an issue, a mountain, and not a molehill. And
Right.
you're just living in this misery of not even want to communicate because you're not willing to accept opinions and ideas. Humble yourself and listen to counsel. And the proper counsel, whether it's like walking into the doctor's office and the doctor says, uh, whatever you have diagnosed, whatever on the back of your neck, whatever's going on, and you tell the doctor, "Oh no, I don't believe you. No, I'm good."
Yeah, you got
Right? He
90
don't went to
school, med school.
right. He done went to 8 years and 4 years of medical school. He got board certified. He done been resident, see all this, all that, board this. Done did 12, 15 years,
Yes,
and
I
you
just
tell the
now talking
doctor,
to that.
"No, man, I'm good." Right? Or I need a second opinion from my auntie's cousin, you know, who,
Didn't finish
come on.
anything. No paperwork, no nothing. You know what I'm
No
saying?
nothing. Right. No pay, no nothing. Because you take more stock
Come on.
watch this now. You take more stock in getting people to tell you what you want to hear rather than what you need to hear.
Yeah. Yeah. Woo. Boy, this has
Yeah.
been good here, man. This has been good.
Yeah. So
And
in a
it's so deep,
relationship,
man. It
yeah,
it
man.
really is. Like I
Yeah.
just, I'm listening to you and I know folk are listening, they're going, wow, I have never been told this in my entire life.
Yeah.
I remember when I was going through and we had the conversation, you said, Fred, you really got to check yourself. And had you not told me that, I never would have got my past together. Period.
Yeah.
I'm a great guy. I'm cool. I mean, I love Jesus. I love, whatever. And there's thousands, hundreds of thousands of people listening, and they're like, "Hey, I understand. I did this. I'm not a bad guy. I hadn't been to prison. I ended it, or I've been to prison. I came out of it. Just being good is
Yeah.
not enough in terms of not seeing yourself better.
Oh yeah.
We're really grateful. Thank you so much,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Cross,
And
because
it's a growth. We got to grow.
yes, right,
That's it. I
right,
mean, at the end of the day,
right.
what are we doing if we're not growing daily?
Come on.
Right? What are we doing
What is the whole point
if
of
we're
this?
not looking at ourselves in the mirror every day and saying, what can I fix? What can I adjust? What can I do to make myself better? Either before I meet my loved one, my boo, my bae, or while I'm in the relationship,
Correct.
what can I do that we can both together grow together and have a 30, 40, 50-year marriage? That's the reason why Dr. Frazier and them are married.
Come on. Yes, sir.
50 years.
Dr. Hodge. I mean, you just count them.
Right.
Just keep going down the list, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
The other thing too, I think as we wrap this up, and I want you to definitely do the prayer this today as we wrap up. Could you give us again those 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 points? Let's go through those just so if they missed it, or if you came a little later, and don't forget you can always check this out even after this show. We're on our YouTube channel. I want to highly recommend and encourage you to go to No More Dirty INC. Professor, go ahead and throw that up, the YouTube channel, and so that you can make sure that you're engaged in what we're doing here. So go to the YouTube channel, look up No More Dirty INC. No More Dirty INC. Subscribe to the channel. Go check out the website, nomoredirty.org, and say, listen, visit the site, invest in the site, invest in your own growth, because that's all we're doing. We're transforming lives one person at a time. volunteer, say, listen, I want to share this thing. Just be engaged, to be totally immersed in your growth and in the growth of others. And again, you can't go wrong, because if you're growing, it makes you even more attractive and more appealing to your boo, your bae. They're not going to want to leave you when they see you level up. They're going to level up. And I think that's why this is so important. And again, I want to say a big shout out to our team, co-producer in this thing here for the session. Shout out to my man. You already know the business. It's my man, Professor X and DJ Scissorhand on the ones and twos, and Marcus Sims. And again, Chap, I call him Chap, but you know him as Dr. Cross, man. You want to give us prayer after you do those last five? That would be greatly appreciated.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, man. So last week we covered plan, sufficient time to talk and listen, take time to be certain that you reach an agreement. Number 3 was talk about expectations. Number 4 was be sincere and use a tone of voice that shows sincerity. And then number 5 was plan interactions that support your dreams and goals. And then today we covered the next 5. Number 6, offer opinions and ideas that are stimulating. We talked about be stimulating, fun-loving, and fast-moving. We talked about attempt to isolate and protect him or her, your partner, from potential pitfalls or challenging situations. The next one was offer immediate rewards for accomplishments. And our last one was ask for opinions and ideas from your mate, from your partner, because you don't know everything.
This is good, man. This is good. God's mailbox. I know you're going to do the prayer, but I just want to say, and in fact, you can do this one, man. Talk about the God's mailbox and give us prayer, and then we're going to come back with a closing announcement and show the video, and then we gotta get my man Stric'ly in, because he got a dope song.
Oh yeah,
God's mailbox, bro. What's up, bro?
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, man. We once again honor the memory and the legacy of Sister Carlotta Doss and the work that she has done in giving us God's mailbox. You do, you write down your prayers and your concerns, your thoughts, all of that. And you can either send them in to No More Dirty at info@nomoredirty.org. You yourself can put them in an envelope and you can burn them yourself in your own prayer box. You can shred them. But all that Sister Doss was sharing with us is to write them down. Write down your prayer. Write a letter to God about your prayer, of anything and all that you need from God about your family, your circumstances, your career, anything at all. And then you send them up to God like sweet incense by burning. You can do them in a prayer box of your own, or you can send them in, email them in, or send them to info@nomoredirty.org.
So, with that being shared, I'm going to show them what this looks like, just so you know. This is you can do it on an index card.
Oh
So
yeah.
a lot of times we can do it on an index card. You can do it in a journal, like a regular notebook, piece of paper, and what have you. And what we're going to do, chap, next week, we're going to go ahead and we'll do the actual official burning. We usually do it at the end of the month, but we want to get through next week because we know we still have we have at least one more session, correct? One more session.
I believe so. Yeah, so what we're going to do the next time we meet, next session, we are going to do those pesky red flags.
Okay.
Those pesky red flags. And let me tell you something, it's going to be powerful because we come into relationships with our own red flags. Then you have the red flags of your mate, your partner.
Wow.
And until you address those red flags, we are going down a path of destruction and challenges and misery if we don't address them. And so we're going to talk about red flags in a relationship, and it's going to be powerful. It may be triggering. And so we want to make sure that you get mental health assistance and anger management. And if you're a veteran, etc., There's going to be domestic. We're going to talk about domestic violence. We're going to talk about sexual assault. All of those types of negative things that we want to make sure that you come and listen to, but get the help that you need. And we want to be a voice so that you understand that you don't have to stay in those red flags. You don't have to stay in domestic violence, and that there is help. And Minister Fred will share with you those resources for help in case those red flags get unbearable and out of hand, and you've got to take your kids and leave.
Right. That's what's up. So, man, go ahead and give us. Let's do the prayer, and then we'll make a final announcement and get into the music. Give us a closing prayer.
All right. Yes, let's pray.
Pray for the folk.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Loving Father in heaven, once again, we are thankful and privileged to be here. We're so grateful for the opportunity once again now to come and to not only communicate with you, but to communicate to our listening audience the 10 lessons to help them become better communicators in their dating and courting, in their engagement, and in their marriage, a year, 5 years, 10 years, even 50 years. Better communicators at any level of a relationship where you are. I mean, even these communication lessons are good for friendships, and they're good for mother and father, brother and sister. These are universal that you've given us to learn how to grow and how to help communicate better so that we can be fully knowledgeable of the person, especially in this context, the person that we want to say I do to. So we lift up our couples. We lift up our single men and women. We lift up those that are contemplating marriage. We lift up our newlyweds and those just married 2, 3, 4, 5 years. We lift them up because we know that in the sanctity of marriage, God is, and that you ordained, sanctified, blessed, hallowed the marriage vows with Adam and Eve, and you set the tone, the blueprint for a strong marriage throughout Earth's history. And so we thank you so much for these lessons. We ask a special blessing over those who shall present their God's mailbox, their prayer request on an index card, on a notebook paper that shall mail in, shall email in. May their prayers be heard by you, and may they be answered, and may they be blessed by whatever endeavor, school, finances, health, relationship, addiction, anything at all that they may be struggling with, or even they have triumphed over the new person in their life, their resume with a new job, their promotion, their pay raise. May they be blessed to know that you are God, and beside you, there is no other. Bless Minister Fred in a mighty way. Bless the No More Dirty team and the entire ministry, that we continue to be a beacon of light throughout the world in sharing the good news of the gospel and the crossroads between the gospel, hip hop, and Bible beats and bars. We bless you. We praise you. Forgive us and save us in your kingdom is our prayer in your holy name. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Well, listen, man, let's put our hands again, and one more time, man. Doc, you did it again, brother. You brought that heat. We are so grateful for you. So again, you can get in touch with him. He's giving you that information. I think you'll do that one more time. And then you can also go to the website and say, hey, send us an email and just check in. Remember, you can get in touch with us on Instagram, No More Dirty Inc., No More Dirty Radio Show. If you want to get at me personally, you can go Minister Fred TWO too. And then of course, Mike, when you give him your information as well.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You can always reach us at Symbis.com.
Crowd love you, brother.
And www.symbis.com. That's SYMBIS.com. A whole lot of tools there you can use. You can find a counselor in your area, and you can learn about how you can save your marriage before it starts. a wonderful program by Doctors Les and Leslie Parrott. And if you want to reach me, 505-975-8888. Again, that's 505-975-8888. And you can always email me at dr, that's David Romeo, dr period, Michael A. Cross at iCloud.com. MICHAEL Cross at iCloud.com.
Well, there it is, folks. We want to say thanks again, man. Doc, you know, it was on and popping, man. You brought it home. This was a little deep, obviously, but it was well worth it. And to all of our viewers and our listeners on the radio side, we want to say thank you very, very, very much for, staying in and locking in with us. I mean, listen, we've been doing this for a minute. Actually, in a few weeks, we will be embarking. The end of May, we will be embarking upon 7 years, man. 7 years doing the No More Dirty radio show. And we're 9 years doing No More Dirty Inc. We're about 4 years doing the session, Bible Beats and Bars. And the tagline is where hip hop and faith meet. So you get the hip hop, you get the boom bap, you get all of that Bible beats, bars, you get the life lessons, all of that good stuff. So again, we want to say thank you. And don't forget, Professor, if you want to put that up there, they can get our information. We want you to go to our website, nomoredirty.org, the Cash App, and make sure you, if you want to submit and you want to make us part of your charitable giving, we really want to say thank you for that. We appreciate it. We don't take it for granted. And I think that's about it, man. Let's go out with, I definitely want us to make sure a big thank you, kudos to our 2021 sponsors and partners of the Good Music and Arts Festival. And next week, we'll make the big announcement in terms of how much bigger and how much greater the second annual Good Music and Arts Festival will be. So we'll give you more information. You can always check out our site. It has it there as well. And we're going to do it October 2nd, which is the first Sunday in the month of October 2022. Again, we love you. We thank you. And on behalf of all of us here at No More Dirty, the crew, we love you again and enjoy this video afterwards by none other than Stric'ly. He's got a new joint. We'll see you next week. Stay locked and loaded. And don't forget, God loves you, and so do we. Peace.
No More Dirty presents the Good Music and Arts Festival at the Big Spring Park, downtown Huntsville, Sunday, September 12th from 4 to 8 p.m. Madison County Commissioner Violet Edwards, Alabama State Representative Laura Hall, Alabama State Representative Anthony Daniels, Councilwoman Frances Akridge, Councilman Devin Keith, Councilman John Meredith, C.E. Hammond and Company, Huntsville Utilities, Huntsville Police Department, Huntsville City Parks and Recreation, Rental, Syntown Corporation, G360 Design, Real Estate, News for Real Ministry, Chief Entertainment, No More Dirty TV, Julian Policy, many more, and United Federation of Artistic Mind, Green Room Entertainment, Elegance on a Budget, Strictly Jesus Records, Stone Federal Credit Union. Clean and family-friendly fun, with performances by Bishop Danny Richardson and Eagles Nest Praise Team, Divine Purpose. Video TV. Ben Cone the Bird. Mother Charles and Tanya Harris. Ken Clear. So Fantastico with a DJ smash up with DJ Scissorhands. DJ Cliff. DJ Master Ice. DJ Sam Smite. The Jazz Super Metal Experience. The Good Music and Arts Festival. To be a sponsor, vendor, host a tour, or for more information, contact us at nomoredirty.org. Let's do it again, October 2nd, 2022.
Christ made us clean.
The No More Dirty TV show, hosted by Minister Fred 2, airing the cleanest and dopest music videos in the industry every Wednesday and Friday at 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time on the No More Dirty Inc. YouTube channel. We got clean, positive Christian hip-hop and urban music for your viewing and listening pleasure. We also have music video exclusives, interviews, ciphers, life lessons, and more. Make sure to follow us at Minister Fred 2, at No More Dirty Inc., and at No More Dirty Radio Show. For more information, email us at info@nomoredirty.org or call 256-698-9749. The No More Dirty TV show. Connect with us and tune in.
When he comes, he's coming in power. When he comes, he's coming in glory.
Can't keep my feet up cause I ain't home. You can tell him put that in stone. Tell him put that in stone. Tell him put that in stone. Can't kick my feet up cause I ain't home. You can tell him put that in stone. Tell him put that in stone. Tell him put that. Never seen my ankle fade. Laughing daily, dangerous face. Eyes on that last day. Long for that, but can't just wait. Called his name, I say my crate. Said he saved, I say my place. Treasures in me, cause I'm played. Can't crack my code, I'm safe. Focus my aim. They run through the pain. This work ain't in vain. So when he's stuck in the flames, hope that no one can restrain. Still might get blood on my shirt. It's a real fight. Ain't built for this world. It don't feel right. Feel remember what I feel like. Hey, you can bring more things. Won't feel the danger. Hey, these holy ghost things. Permanent we can't. Okay, I'm on the road. They said it's the wrong way. Okay, you give me no space.
Don't pay that in mind, because I can't guarantee that. But when God tells you something, amen, folks say you can put your weight on it. Because what he says, he can back up.
Can't kick my feet up cause I ain't home. You can tell him put that in stone. Tell him put that in stone. Tell him put that in stone. Can't kick my feet up cause I ain't home. You can tell him put that in stone. Tell him put that in stone. Tell him put that. Can't live for profit, they pay us. Trying to live like the prophet Isaiah. My hopes in later, but I grind right now, it's layers. I'm fighting my independence. Them comments can't end my sentence. We broke at our penitentiaries. What I'm up at is business. See what I'm on. I've been in my zone. The ceiling is gone. I'm sick as the feeling is on. Tell them to drill it is down. Hey, still. Told them it's not no drill. They feel like I'm not for real. Feeling glad he got that wheel. You can bring more things. Won't be the danger. Hey, these holy ghost things. Permanent we can't for. Okay, I'm on the road. They said it's the wrong way. Okay, you give me no space.
God guarantees every believer a prosperous supply. Are you gonna help with it? Also, we have obtained an inheritance.
Can't kick my feet up cause I ain't home. You can tell him put that in stone. Tell him put that in stone. Tell him put that in stone. Can't kick my feet up cause I ain't home. You can tell him put that in stone. Tell him put that in stone. Tell him put that.